Hi everyone, Chuck Niemer from Flexi here. This is the first of a number of videos that we're putting together here to help you get comfortable, understand what's going on, what we're doing, what your steps are to take, etc., as well as the decisions and the reports you got to work with to help you get started here. Okay? So you see on the screen here, this is the Flexi simulation here where you start. And when you click on the start simulation, it will ask you to put in your email and password that you were given. And then where that's going to get you next will be typically right up here. It starts at the sales forecast is where your screen that comes in at. Now, what I want to do first here before we go into that is pull up a quick PowerPoint here, nothing fancy, but kind of show you the situation, both as a business and where you're starting financially here, before we do a navigation around here. So in Flexi, you're going to be running the factory as well as working with what you're going to buy, how you're going to ship, distribution centers, etc. So we've got two electronics products here. One's a smart home assistant, one is a smart thermostat. We've got a factory in North America, and we started out with a distribution center in North America, like you see in the picture, five suppliers, and you ship to all three areas, North, Central, and South America, out of North America. You will have the choice in rounds down the road to be able to open up distribution centers in both Central and South America, send raw materials, do manufacturing there, finishing work, and ship direct to your customers. But we start out shipping to all markets out of North America. And in each market, there's a retail channel and a direct channel. Okay. So you've got six avenues to get out to the customer there. Now, jumping back to the simulation a second, from a financial standpoint, I'm going to go down on the left to the corporate profit and loss statement. So, in fact, I'm going to go back to round three. You start out with, or quarter three, you start out with 3 quarters worth of data, and you pick up as a team on quarter four. Now, if you look down through our profit and loss statement, we are starting out making money. We're not losing money, so that's not the context we're starting from. We're not looking to improve, fix the business as much as improve the business. Most of us come into supply chain working at organizations that are making money, and we're brought in to make it better. So we do start out from a profitability standpoint, and we are trying to make the business better. Okay. So that's kind of our context as we're getting started here. Let me go up on the left here again. I'm going to go back up on top for a moment here, and I'm going to go up to round six, which is where I'm testing the plane for our purposes here, is these are all our decisions on the left. Below that's all the reports. You see up on top here, this is your firm name, firm one. We're in the forecasting section. This will be your class. This is where we're at, deadlines and how many days remaining. Okay. Now, decisions are in the current quarter. Reports are in all the previous quarters. So you'll notice we're in quarter six and I've selected quarter six. I'm in sales forecasting. So you will make sales forecasts for all the regions. And you'll notice in white is the previous quarter, and in yellow is the current quarter where you'll be typing in your decision that you'll work with as a team here. Okay. And as you go through all the different, so this is sales forecasting. If you go to procurement, you will see the same thing. You've got distribution center one. If I click on distribution center two here, I'll see distribution center two, distribution center three. I've chosen in my example to work with a set of data where I've already set up distribution centers. But this is where you'll move between the distribution centers. And again, in yellow is where you'll put in current data. We'll show you your previous data as well. You'll be making decisions on manufacturing. And if you look here on the screen, again, current production, enter the number of units to produce for smart home assistants. emergency reserve for unexpected demand, surge capacity as well. And over on the right, this is postponement. That's one of our supply chain strategies. Distribution, you'll be making decisions for your region one where you exist, as well as I've already chosen. You can see up here, the distribution center is operational. I've got to make decisions here about the distribution center, number two, and then distribution center for Central America. Okay. If I have distribution set up, then I'm also going to be making decisions on the outbound side. How am I going to ship to customers? And again, I'm going to make decisions on not only previous quarter and this quarter, but whether I'm going to use air or surface in my transportation out to the customers. And I use the manual to get the costs and the on times and the plus and minuses. And again, if I go back to procurement for a sec while I'm here, I will make decisions on which carriers as well. And again, you'll notice here, air or surface. Okay. We get into service management, levels of service you're going to offer your customer, cost to it, but there's benefits with it. IT and supply chain, as supply chain moves into synchronization of supply chains, we're going to start addressing issues of learning about synchronization and where do I want to do it. Coming back to demand management, you'll be making decisions. This will be a little bit different for us here. This isn't traditional demand management in supply chain where I pull in customer knowledge, I pull in forecast, customer orders, and I decide what the forecast is. I'm going to decide for each product whether or not I'm going to carry it, active or not, as well as what I'm going to sell it for and what I'm going to spend in marketing. So you're going to have to go back to data and build the correlations to figure out what do you think we ought to sell it for. So we're going to push you in that direction too. Okay. And you're going to do it for all three regions that are out there. I'm going to go back to 5 for a second. Okay. Now, as I'm on top up here still, I'm still in the decisions. At the end of a quarter, we capture what your decisions are. So you can go back and see what your decisions were. I'm a big fan myself of encouraging you to start building a log or a spreadsheet so you can work with it over time. Now, if I go back to previous quarters, all the reports open up on the left as well. So I can go back to periods 3, 4, 5, see what the reports were, all the way back to around, quarter one. But you've got a profit and loss statement. And what you'll notice here is we've got profits, and expenses and whether I made money. But we also added in a visual form of the same thing. If you're a visual learner, it gives you a chance to be able to understand it visually as well and see if that teases out any ideas. We've got profit and loss by product, same format as we look through it. Okay, so you can look at it by product as well if you'd like to. We also have balance sheet and cash flow. So you can start looking at and addressing, and this is part of complete leadership, is looking at the changes in the balance sheet, what we own, what we owe, where does money come from, where does it go, as well as cash flow analysis, so we can see how we're doing in terms of working capital, etc. The additional reports that are down below, okay, you can see it on the right side here. Finished goods, inventory levels, procurement inventory, forecast accuracy as an example. And again, they've all got the pictures on top to help us out, visualize what's going on, as well as information on our service center and some of the other decisions and information that's out there. So what you're going to be doing is working in and out of your decisions, your reports, etc. Wanted to give you a quick lay of the land on how this whole thing kind of lays out. Okay, so that should capture it. We'll stop right here. encourage you to look at our next video, which starts talking a bit about strategy and tips and tricks and things that are available for you. And then finally on to more detail with all the decisions and all the reports. So we'll see you over there.